Do we need to let them know?
Oh, where's my pen? I just had it now.
I'm sure.
I think they were waiting for us.
Okay. Unless it's already been going. Do you need? You good?
Did somebody just walk in?
I think it was him coming out the door.
Okay.
I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:35. Miss Cindy, can you call the roll?
Hale,
Present.
Lucero, Bartholomew,
Here?
Hall. Here.
Okay, does anybody have any issues with the last meeting's agenda? Does anyone want to make a motion to approve it? Or, well, no, we do that.
Second.
Gotcha. No, I'm doing it out of order. It's my fault. Does anybody have any issues with how the agenda is presented today? Anyone want to add anything?
No, I'm good.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented for today.
And,
So you have to call the roll?
Hale,
Yes.
Lucero, Bartholomew,
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
First item on the docket is the approval of last minute's agenda. Would anyone like to make a motion for that?
Motion to approve?
Second? Should I call the roll on that?
Hale,
Yes.
Bartholomew,
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is public forum. We only have the one item. It's your item. Do you have anything you want to say ahead of time, or do you want to just, we give you open?
Yeah, I think probably went over everything last time.
Okay. Okay. So with my son being the only other person here, it's going to close the public forum. Does any of the board members have any comments they want to make before we go into the agenda item?
No.
Okay. Mr. Casson is not present to give us a review of the parcel. So I guess that's going to be closed. And then the next item is a variance request for 290 Yule Street. It's for a larger than allowed garage. Do any board members want to speak to the item?
Not having Mr. Casson here makes it difficult.
It does.
And with that, honestly, I'm more open at this point in time. I mean, it was only, 2 weeks ago we were here,
Mhm.
and I would be more open to table this thing again until we can have all the persons here that we would need to make a good decision.
That's, yeah. Miss Lisa?
I guess I've got one question. So I see a garage and what looks to be a shed.
Yeah.
Would you be removing both of those?
Well, yeah, so our plan is if we can get the variance for the larger garage, we won't need the garden shed. The existing garages can be demolished.
Okay.
For me, my issue is we kind of exist for hardships. Like if there's a problem with the land, that there's an issue with the land that can't be resolved, like basically an odd-shaped lot, something that wouldn't allow the garage to be where it is, or a variance issue or a setback issue. To me, I understand why you want what you want. It's not a hardship, which is why I wanted Mr. Casson to speak to why the ordinance is the way it is, and maybe go from the angle of maybe having the ordinance amended, not approving an agenda item, because then we're just superseding what the whole ordinance is for. And I don't understand why it is the way it is, but it is. It is a rule, and it has existed for a long time. From what I'm just trying to reading back, they changed it, I think, 20 years ago. They put the maximum in at that time. To my knowledge, there hasn't really been any approvals of this nature in that time. And that's why I wanted Mr. Casson here, is to speak to why it is the way it is, and maybe see if the whole rule could be adopted and changed.
Seems like logical amendment, especially on a larger lot.
Right, and that's
On a
like, I
lot
spoke
this
to that
size.
last time, the lot is, I mean, the fact that we have the 35% rule, you can't exceed that amount, but then we also have a hard and fast rule. Directly next door to you, the lot is a fraction of the size of yours, so the building absolutely wouldn't fit on that parcel, but your parcel is significantly larger. But you're stuck with the same rule that everybody else is. And it's, if we change the rule now, it's a one-off change, but then that just opens the door to us being the way for that to happen,
Right.
rather than doing it properly.
Right, which is all what I'm for. I'm for changing this so that anyone, and there are other properties in Romeo that are large like that. And I know, I just talked to a member from the zoning board of Elmont Township, and it just seems like we're surrounded by, they don't have the hard and fast rule either. It's just a percentage.
Right.
And he was
I didn't
surprised
know
we
that.
had that. So I would personally like to see it change, which is going to take a little bit of time, but, yeah, I would like to see us be able to change it at the trustee level,
Mhm.
you know, with Mr. Clark having done whatever he does. And
Right.
then, of course, Mr. Casson will be able to expound upon that a little bit more.
Right, which is why I
So I'm
kinda
all
wanna-
for it, you know what I'm saying? It's just going to take probably a little bit of time.
But, does anybody want to, are you proposing tabling it or no? Or,
And you know what, when I say that, I say it'll take a little time. I'm not guaranteeing anything, so.
well said.
I'm sorry, but you had a question.
No, so I mean, I'm not in favor of tabling it. That's me. I mean, I'm stuck because I wanted an explanation. I'm not going to get it today. I don't want to push this out another 2 weeks. So, I don't know where everybody's at, but my motion is as presented. I don't see a hardship. So and I understand what he's asking for, and I understand why he's asking for it. But I digress. It's not a hardship to me,
It isn't a hardship.
because everybody's stuck to the same rule no matter what. And it just opens up the door to us being the issue, the way to resolve an issue without actually resolving it. So, I'll make a motion. I'm gonna make a motion to not accept as it is written. So I hear big truck, Happy Casson. Oh, we're already well into this.
Well, if it was him, I think we could allow him to come in.
Nope, pulling away.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna make a motion to not approve the variance as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Hale,
Yes.
Bartholomew. Oh, there's Mr. Casson.
Mr. Casson?
Yep, sorry, a lot of problems on Hall Road.
No, can I back up
Can
for a
you
second?
withdraw your motion?
I'll withdraw my motion for now.
Okay.
Mr. Casson,
Yes,
is there anything you can speak to as to why the ordinance has the hard and fast rule? Because there's a 35% rule with the garage.
Is the
accessory
microphone, I'm
buildings.
sorry, is the microphone at the podium on?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have him go up to the podium
Okay.
for the viewers.
yeah, better.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, or good evening, I guess nowadays.
Well, sorry about your hassles there on the road.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
all right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming, yeah.
The 35%, was that the question?
So I understand the 35%, and my question is, why does the 790 rule exist in the case of a large lot?
Yeah, it's just a standard that was developed a long time ago. It typically applies to smaller lots. Just because I guess it was the planners and the engineers at that time didn't want a lot of impervious surfaces, so the drainage would be a problem.
Right.
Flooding would be a problem. It was basically put in there for smaller type lots.
Okay, so I guess my question is the applicant has a half an acre lot, and if he builds the garage the way it is, removes the shed, the garage the way it is, only keeps the house in the garage, he's gonna occupy less than 9% of the lot. But the rule states 790 accessory structure, hard and fast rule.
Yeah.
And I guess my question is, how does that ordinance not be built to accommodate? I understand that you didn't write it yourself. It's been a long time. Is there, is there a process to amending that ordinance to consider larger lots?
Yeah, it would be, your group here, ZBA would recommend to the planning commission that they consider the revising of the ordinance. And that would go through Lisa. Yeah, she's your representative on the planning commission.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah. And if you seriously think that the ordinance is, needs to be adjusting, then that is reason to grant a variance also.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's my thing is I'm sure there's a lot of people who would like to build a larger accessory structure, and I don't want it to just be a bunch of people lining up for the ZBA
Yeah.
to be told yes to something when the issue itself could be resolved. 'Cause, like, I understand why, going off topic, why a fence can't exceed a side yard when you have two fronts to a house. I'm a perfect example of that. I live on a corner. I understand that rule. I do not understand when the 35% and he only occupies 9. That's a drastic difference in that percentage rule.
I agree with you. I think
there's a
you're
lot of it,
absolutely
it's-
right. It
but
needs to be
it's-
looked at.
Yeah, so it's, I would like to stick to the scaling rule, period. But, so, not to make you wait longer, I would like to go that route with this, and I'm not certain how that is done, but Mr. Caston gave a brief explanation of it. That's the path I think we should go.
Unless you had more to say, I was gonna make a motion then that we.
No, please. No,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we do, as Mr. Casson said, is present it to the planning commission through Lisa. I don't know if I worded that right or not, but to change to make a variance or change a variance in the ordinance or
Right.
whatever.
To allow larger accessory structures if the lot is large enough to accommodate them, rather than have if just looking at the aerial, you can see how much larger those two lots are compared
Oh,
to
yeah.
every other lot affixed to them. So it's not the same.
No,
One size rules generally don't help.
I concur.
Okay.
So,
Motion
So
on the floor.
Bartholomew made motion to present to planning to allow larger accessory structures.
to review the hard and fast rule. So would that would go to their next?
We would place it on their next agenda, and if they decided to go through with it, then we'd hold a public hearing, go through the whole gamut of,
It's like,
revising the ordinance.
but I'll second it. That's the path I'd like to go.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a good way.
Hale,
Yes.
Bartholomew,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
That's everything. Do you have anything you want to say on the end of that? We're trying not to shut you all the way off here, so
Right.
it's just, I'm sorry to have to do it that way, but and to use you as the means to fix what I think is an issue. So I don't want us to be the ones that resolve this. We're supposed to be a court that hears hardships, and I understand, like as I said, I understand why you want to do what you do, but to me, it is not a hardship. But I understand that I find what we have written deficient, and I think it should be amended to accommodate people who have the land to do such. So,
Okay.
so that's where, I don't know when the next planning mission is, or any of that.
it's, the next planning is the first Thursday of July.
So they just had their meeting this month, didn't they?
Yeah.
Of course. All right, anybody would like to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Again, I apologize.
No, you're fine.
Oh, you're fine. I'm real glad you came.
I'm glad to meet you.
You changed it all the way around.
All right,
So,
great.
in a good way.
So, right, and it's,